Technical difficulties. Hey, for some reason the technical stuff didn't work right, and it just said, okay, we're gonna take a break here. Uh, in the Richmond, Virginia area, we were talking Kim Savage a minute ago. Richmond, Virginia area, Women at Work Incorporated, ladies and gentlemen, Women at Work Incorporated. 80, what is that? 804, 804 539 4333. Women at Work, Kim Savage. She can get you handled. You need property maintenance needs. You have preservation needs. Maybe you just need a little service on something, a lawn mower, whatever. Give that girl a call. 804 539 4333. Women at Work in the Richmond, Virginia area, ladies and gentlemen. You call her, tell her, don't forget, remind her she owes me that dance at the sock hop. Get them poodle skirt, them saddle shoes. I'll twirl her around, do a little jitterbug or whatever. Hey, well, I'll try. I don't know. Still hobble a little bit, but we'll have fun doing it, won't we? We're talking in the pricing and stuff. The big thing going on this week is the boarding issues. And I have something, let's see here, on the clear boarding issue that is actually from, it's called the Freddie Mac Issues New Clear Boarding Reimbursement Update from the desk of Robert Klein. I'm going to read you why this makes you an employee. The reimbursement limits for use of clear boarding are up to $2.25 per United Inch with a maximum amount of $2,000. The Freddie Mac reimbursement system will be updated in the future to reflect a clear boarding expense code and a maximum reimbursement amount. Until the reimbursement system is updated with the new expense code, servicers must submit the following in the reimbursement system to receive, and then it gives some code numbers and reimbursement costs in excess that they have to be pre-approved for over $900. But what I found very interesting prior to that statement, now this is for Freddie Mac. This isn't for Fannie Mae. This is for Freddie Mac. The clear boarding must be, this is from the desk of Robert Klein. Hello, Robert. How are you? From the desk of Robert Klein, the clear boarding must be made of a polycarbonate material or one of at least the same strength, be at least 3/16 of an inch thick, 0.375 if you're doing decimals, and it must be properly installed. Go figure. Did you catch the caveat there? It doesn't specify clearboard or secure view. It specifies made of a polycarbonate material that is Lexan, ladies and gentlemen, Lexan. 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 They'll cut it for you. They'll do whatever you need at the shop. You can take it, slap it in the hole. They'll do it all for you at the shop. You don't have to mess with it in the field. Just give them an accurate measurement. They'll cut it. You slap it in. Kaboom. You're done. You do not have to buy $4,000 worth of Secure View, and you do not have to get the product from Cypress. If they're forcing that on you, please let us get that in front of the lawyers so this madness and nonsense stops. It's that simple. This is insanity. But on the heels now, foreclosurepedia.org, up to the minute fraud reporting. Yes, it is. But foreclosurepedia.org this week, I think their lead story right now is something I was going to get to here today, the lumber in Canada, talking about a 20% jump in lumber. Currently, at least out here, Home Depot and Lowe's told me 90% of what they had, their inventory is United States lumber. So at this time, there's not a big deal with Canada. I personally think I witnessed some horrendous stuff happening with NAFTA in the work industry. Remember, I'm a glazer. I've been on numerous construction sites and stuff. So I saw a different side of the effects of NAFTA and how they beat industries up really, really, really bad when it came to work and stuff like that. So I do think that Mr. Trump will. He says he's going to renegotiate. I'll put my faith in him. Let him renegotiate for the betterment of that deal, because all honesty, the U.S. is getting screwed. And the TPP was another one that had made no sense at all. Thomas Purdy, still haven't heard from Thomas Purdy on the HUD contract. If he's got a statement or not, I think he said something to Foreclosurepedia that they're going to start looking at it and addressing it. But like I said, I put a question out to him on that. How is he going to address it? Is he? And this is just me personally. I would find a way to get in front of it right frickin' now. First and foremost, are you licensed in both states to conduct business? If you are, then go in. You can contact me. I'll tell you, it's real simple, man. Just go in and start setting up territories in that state and figure it out. It's not that difficult to do. But another reason the work needs to come home. And let's talk about that for just a minute here. When I say the work needs to come back home, three things happen. The realtors, the client, boots on the ground, those three people are right here. They're together. They can do what needs to be done the first time. You don't have a guy over here, somebody way back there telling this guy over here how to do the work. And that's what's going on in the industry right now, and it needs to stop. Will the Bowerman decision create some hardships? Yeah. If you're not in front of this issue, you're in trouble. And as I said in part one, ladies and gentlemen, each week we're going to start honing in on something. And I'm still working on interviews with the members of the board of directors for what you call it. We can go see what NAMFS has going on. I'm not sure who all. I know Brian Mingham has a very structured deal. He just hired a gal that was with Aspen Grove, if I remember correctly. Pretty industry savvy gal. But perhaps we can get him and talk to him a little bit, and we can find out something about these organizations, about how they propose to deal with industry issues, and maybe in the process, we just bring everybody to the table and we can figure it out without having to scream about regulations stepping into the industry, because there is absolutely no questions at all. There cannot be any more questions about the independent contractor labor issue. I understand the diplomatic answer until the IRS, until the Department of Justice, until the work labor, blah, 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 blah. Until they actually issue a directive or whatever. I can understand that politically correct statement, if you will. But that is not going to change the fact, by law, you're an employee. You need to wrap your head around that. You kind of need to start embracing it, because if you don't, the people that want to stay steadfast in this order mill mentality the industry has adopted, they're the ones that are going to get hurt the most. If you don't get in front of this and start transitioning into W-2, it ain't going to matter if you can buy that overpriced lumber coming out of Canada. It ain't going to matter if you can go do something for with SecureView. And if anybody thinks for 1 minute, UEID, Social Security, Medicaid, Medi-Cal, and the state, that states that have insurance, income tax, state income tax, if you do not think for one split second they're not going to dig up your butt and get into your files and find out how much money you owe them, you are sadly, sadly, sadly mistaken. Let's not forget the employer contributions that go with along with paying people. This is a big can of worms that got opened up, and it's massive, and it's not going to go away. So you want to transition. You want to start transitioning into that and figuring it out. If you need help, let me know. It's not a problem. I can help you. I can point you in the right direction to do a few things. But the big thing to me is being properly licensed and understanding the laws. And I'll ask Thomas Purdy, are the laws in Kentucky and Indiana identical when it comes to debris removal? What's the law in Indiana say when it comes to doing plumbing repairs? Stepping on a roof. Are those laws the same? You need to have people in those areas that know the law, know the rules. They know all the business stuff, where to get your license, not where to get the license, but what licenses to have, the correct proper licensing is huge, ladies and gentlemen, because it dictates your insurance. If you're not properly licensed, you're not properly insured. Kind of, hello. But again, and in my humble opinion, something Mr. Miller wants to ignore and allow his membership to ignore. I think it's wrong. But I think the time of pointing fingers at individuals in this industry, I honestly believe it's time that stops. And it's time people quit burying their heads in the sand about what's going on, and we start having conversations. Conversations about this need to be had, or they're not going to be worked out amicably. They're going to be worked out by the courts. And I don't know, ask the booze checks how the courts work it out. Ask the booze checks. Ask them. They can tell you. Let's see here. Oh, yes, he's going to be reviewing it as it develops, as Thomas Purdy said about the labor issue. I would be very, very, very surprised if that unfolds backwards, is what I'm saying. If that decision in Bowerman goes the other way, it's not going to. Most of the time, in a court's decision, the judge will issue even the decision in Megan's Law was not 50 pages. Megan's Law had serious repercussions across this country. It was not 50 pages. And every judge wrote a dissent on that. All 9 judges. Not a dissent, I'm sorry. There were only 4 dissents. But all 9 judges wrote an opinion. And it wasn't 50 pages. Think about that. This Bowerman FAS decision, 50 pages. That, how would you say it? The judge wanted to make sure he was driving the point home. That's a pretty tough decision, man. And I tell you, I've seen a lot of court cases and a lot of decisions, but never one that really, really starts screwing things down. And one, I mean, this just kind of I don't know what's going to happen. I know this month, actually, I think the 27th, it's either April or May 27th, I think it is, which might be today. Today's the 27th. Perhaps the hearing on the penalty phase of the Bowerman case is going on. I think it's in May. But the penalty phase is where they determine how much they owe each individual. And this is where they'll get hurt, because those damages, now that they've decided to fight it, those are treble damages. As I said in my article, Tahiti is starting to look real good. Yeah, I doubt it. Costa Rica, they got monkeys there too. Anyways, anywhere that's got warm water, sand, a little funny palm tree, and somebody bringing me a fruity drink and a coconut shell, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, it's about time to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go, let's discuss a couple of things. The question I put to Mr. Miller, Mr. Mingham, and Tony Newman. This is just me. I honestly believe it's time that people quit putting their head in the sand about these issues. There are serious issues plaguing the industry. The banks, of course, have a say. The realtors also need to be brought to the table. Labor needs to be brought to the table. Management's already there. Once again, my question, do you have any thoughts or any ideas on how to start transitioning the industry from a complete order mill fiasco to W-2 companies across the board? My thought is you bring the work home, and the mortgage house has someplace, a regional office somewhere that can a little more closely supervise the work, and you create an infrastructure there. And let's not think that by going W-2 that all the order mill people are going to lose their job per se, that are members of an association, because somewhere along the line, one of the W-2 companies in that area has got to hire office help. Hello. Anyway. The time to pointing fingers and stuff at everybody, we got to stop that. We need to sit down. We need to get this industry under control, because if we don't, you know what's going to happen. And I don't think anybody really wants to go down that road, but you got to. And right now, it is looking like the more together, and this is just my opinion from this point forth, my humble opinion here, the organization that looks best prepared to assist their members is the International Association of Field Service Techs, because, and I say this solely because, they're the new kids on the block, developing as they go. So they, to me, in my opinion, they have a leg up over everybody. So, but let's hear from everybody. Let's not ignore it. Let's not pretend it's going to go away. Let's get it on the table. Let's figure it out. Let's do it as an industry, and let's get this industry developed so we can respect each other and all the finger pointing stops. I mean, it really is kind of crazy. And so is a $700 back charge from 2 years ago. That's not crazy. That's a theft. And it should not be allowed. If somebody's allowing that to go on, turning your head looking the other way is allowing it to go on, then they're just as guilty as the person stealing the money. It's a crime. It's a crime. Just something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, you're in the Reno, Nevada area. I got bare root strawberry plants. They're great. $4 a dozen. That's less than 50% of what $4 a dozen. Even if you bought, check this out. I did a little crunched a couple numbers yesterday. Walmart sells 10 plants for $7.99. I'm doing a dozen, 12 plants, $4. Now, I even have Walmart beat on their volume price, and I haven't reduced my price. For a $20 bill, ladies and gentlemen, you can get 60, that's 5 dozen strawberry plants, 60 strawberry plants from me for $50. For $25 at Walmart, 25 bucks, you get 50 plants. 20 bucks, 60 from me, 25, 50 from Walmart. Come on. Get a hold of me. We'll have planters ready for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Fathers like strawberries too, folks. We're going to have a great day up here. Got the wind blowing, chimes swinging, sun shining. It's nice and warm. Going to have a great day, folks. Let's have a good time. Let's all be safe out there.